Hello everyone. Once again welcome to PM Networking. Hope you all are doing great. Guys, today in this video we are going to troubleshoot one real-time issue, right? In this scenario we have some problem. So we will first identify the issue and then we will troubleshoot it. Before that, let me make you familiar with this topology. As you can see, in my topology we have two core switches, core switch 1, core switch 2, and we have two access layer switches, access layer switch 1 and access layer switch 2. Then we have some user in VLAN 10 and we have some user in VLAN 20. Okay, so what is problem here? You can see problem is network engineer has configured this scenario so that core switch 1 should be active for VLAN 10, means this switch core switch 1 should be active for VLAN 10, and core switch 1 means this switch should be standby for VLAN 20. Okay, and core switch 2 should be active for VLAN 20. So engineer have configured the scenario for this switch core switch 1 should be active for VLAN 10 and core switch 2 should be active for VLAN 20, and for switch on for VLAN 20, core switch 1 should be standby and core switch 2 should be standby for VLAN 10, right? For VLAN 10, switch 2 should be standby. For VLAN 20, switch 1 should be standby. And for VLAN 10, switch 1 should be my active switch. And for VLAN 20, switch 2 should be my active switch. But you can see the problem. Engineer have configured the HSRP protocol, but result is both the switches are active for both VLAN. Both switches are active for both VLAN, and you need to troubleshoot this issue and you need to fix it. Okay, so see, this switch should be active for VLAN 10, this switch should be active for VLAN 20, but both switches are active for both VLAN. That means, maybe there is no connectivity between switch 1 and switch 2, because see, on core switch 1 we will have one VLAN interface VLAN 10. On that interface we will have one IP address 10.1.1.1. in the same way we will have one VLAN 10 interface on core switch 2, right? On that interface we will have one IP address 10.1.1.2, let's say, right? Now these two IP addresses should be reachable with each other, because HSRP protocol is going to send hello messages after every 3 seconds, right? After every 3 seconds it will send hello message, right? So if this IP address and this IP address is reachable with each other, then only HSRP protocol can exchange hello messages, and they can get to know I am standby or active. But if there is no any reachability, if switch 1 will not receive hello message from switch 2 for VLAN 10, right, of hello message of HSRP, then switch 1 will think I am the only switch, so I am what, active. In the same way switch 2 will also think like I am the only switch here, right, because I am not receiving any hello message from other switch with higher priority or higher IP address. That means I am the active switch, right? So let me check, really both switches are active here. If yes, then we will troubleshoot it. See, on switch number 1, so IP interface brief. So on VLAN 10 interface IP address is 10.1.1.1. on VLAN 20 interface IP address is 20.1.1.1. on core switch 2 also, let me verify the IP configuration first. So IP interface brief, so we have 10.2 on VLAN 10 interface, we have 20.2 on VLAN 2 interface, right? Now let me check HSRP. So standby brief. So yes, you can see for VLAN 10 this switch is active, and standby is unknown. Virtual IP address is 10.1.1.3. so standby is unknown. So whenever you will see this type of problem like standby is unknown, that means this switch is not receiving any hello message from core switch 2. That means this switch have not received any hello message from core switch 2. Same thing is happening for VLAN 20 also. This switch is active and standby is unknown. So if standby is unknown means that means switch have not received hello message from other switch, from switch number 2. And same thing, same command I will run on switch number 2 also. So standby brief. Here also you can see for both VLAN, for VLAN 10 this switch is active and standby is unknown. For VLAN 20, this switch is active and standby is unknown. Virtual IP address is 20.3 and 10.3 for VLAN 10, right? So here standby router is unknown for both VLAN, right? So because of these routers are not able to exchange HSRP hello messages, right? That's why it's saying standby router is unknown. If router, let's say switch 1 will receive hello message from switch number 2, right, with higher priority or with lower priority or with same priority but lower IP address, then switch can perform active and standby election, right? But if switch is not receiving any hello message, then switch will declare their self as active router, and same thing is happening over here. So now guys, I am going to verify connectivity first. Let me check I am able to ping the VLAN 10 interface of switch to 10.1.1.2. This is IP address of VLAN interface on switch number 2, and yes, you can see there is connectivity, right? There is connectivity. So let me ping 20 also, 20.1.1.2. okay, I am not able to ping 20.1.1.2 from switch number 1, right? That means you can say switch 1 is not able to send hello message to this address because this address is not reachable from switch number 1. Now let me take you to switch 2. On this switch, ping 20.1.1.1. see, ping is not working. Ping is not working. Okay, now we need to troubleshoot it. Why ping is not working? So for that, what I will do, I will check so ARP table, so IPR. Let me check ARP table. Inside the ARP table, is there MAC address available of 20.1? MAC address of 20.1 is, you can see, incomplete. Actually, as you know, whenever 20.1 will ping 20.2 will ping 20.1, right? 20.2 need MAC address of 20.1. So first it will generate ARP request message, right? So now core switch 2 is not able to resolve ARP MAC address, right? In the same way on core switch 1 also we can check ARP table ARP, so IPRP ARP, and here we are able to see for 20.1, for 20.1, oh sorry, for 20.2 MAC address is this one. Here we have MAC address, means switch 1 is able to resolve MAC address of 20.2, but switch 2 is not able to resolve MAC address of 20.1, right? So if switch 2 is not able to resolve MAC address of 20.1, right, that means there is some problem on switch 2. So again I am going to take you to switch number 2, and on switch number 2 let me show you one thing. So IP interface brief. Let me check interface. This interface line protocol is up as well as status is up. On switch number 1 also, let me verify the interface. So IP interface brief. So VLAN 10 interface status up, line protocol up. VLAN 20 status up, line protocol up. This is fine. This is working fine, right? Then why 20.1 not able to resolve, not able to ping 20.2? Because 20.2 is not able to resolve the MAC address of 20.1. So guys, whenever you will face this type of issue like MAC address incomplete, so IP ARP, here we are able to see for 20.1, this switch is not able to resolve MAC address of 20.1. Let me ping again, ping 20.1.1.1. see, okay, and again if you will check ARP table, so you can see entry is incomplete. So when core switch 2 will generate ARP request message, it will forward to 20.1.1.1. it will check the routing table, so IP route. In the routing table 20 network is there. Yes, 20 network is there. On which interface? On VLAN 20 interface. Now let me check running configuration of VLAN 20 interface. So run interface VLAN 20. So here we have configured this IP address 20.1.1.2. okay, standby 1 IP is this one. This is virtual IP. Standby 1 priority this one, and preemption is enabled. Now problem, here is, so interface trunk, let me check trunk link, that on trunk link VLAN 20 are allowed or not. VLAN 20, because on trunk link VLAN 20 should be allowed. So here you can see VLAN 20 is not allowed on the trunk link. All VLAN are allowed on the trunk link, but VLAN 20 is not in the management domain. That means, guys, VLAN 20 does not exist on switch number 2. This is the problem. VLAN 20 does not exist on switch number 2. So VLAN brief, you can see VLAN 20 is not there, right, in the database, in the VLAN database of switch 2. So here I have to create VLAN 20. So say VLAN 20 and exit. And now so IP ARP. Okay, let me check connectivity now. Ping 20.1.1.1. Still I am not able to ping 20.1.1.1. So what I can do here, just wait for 30 seconds. So a span tree protocol, because STP takes some time for VLAN 20. All ports are in forwarding state, right? Let me ping now. Now you can see ping is working. Now I am able to ping 20.1 from switch number 1. Now we have connectivity. Again, let me check. So IP ARP, and this time for 20.1 you can see this switch have learned MAC address, right? And switch 2 have learned this MAC address on which interface? So MAC address table. In the MAC address table we can check this MAC address, right? In last is 3000. So 3000, this one. So switch 2 is learning MAC address of switch 1 on port 1, right? On port channel 1. So now, so standby brief. Now you can see for VLAN 20 we don't have no problem. For VLAN 20 this switch is root, this switch is active, and standby is 20.1.1.1, means switch 1 is standby, switch 2 is active for VLAN 20, right? Correct. On switch number 1 also we can verify. So standby brief. So you can see for VLAN 20 this switch is standby and active switch is 20.1.1.2, means switch number 2. But again for VLAN 10 still you can see this switch is active and standby is unknown. On switch number 2 also for VLAN 10 this switch is active and standby is unknown. So still we have problem for VLAN 10. So now we are going to troubleshoot it, that why for VLAN 10 both switches are active. And guys, you can see both switches are able to ping as well. 10.1.1.2, I am able to ping 10.1.1.2. then that means these switches can exchange hello messages, right? Because we are able to ping, that means there is connectivity, right? On trunk link VLANs are allowed, right? Everything is working fine. Then also if you will see this type of issue, like both switches are saying active and standby is unknown, that means there can be access control list which is filtering the traffic, or any type of access list or prefix list that is filtering the maybe HSRP traffic, right? Or HSRP hello messages, right? Because of that maybe switches are not able to exchange hello messages of HSRP, and that is the reason why both switches are active switch. So what I will do, see, earlier in this scenario I was a requirement. I had a requirement was like VLAN 10 users should be able to access limited internet. VLAN 10 users should access limited internet. So for that we had configure ACL on switch number 1 and on switch number 2. On switch number 1 and on switch number 2. And what you can do for the troubleshooting, you should run this command on interface. You should check running configuration of VLAN 10 interface, because for VLAN 10 both switches are active. So I am going to check so run interface VLAN 10. And here you can see we have one access control list, right? Rest configuration is correct. IP address, then virtual IP address, priority preemption is enabled, and then we have one access control list, IP access group, limited access direction in direction we have one access list on this switch. Now I am going to open this access control list. So access list and this name, and now you can see guys, in this access control list we had permit TCP any equal to www, that means port number 80, right? Then permit TCP any 443, and permit UDP any port number 53, means for DNS, and permit ICMP any. You can see I am allowing to access HTTP service, HTTPS service, DNS service, and ICMP service to VLAN 10 users, right? VLAN 10 user can only access these services, right? On core switch 1 and on core switch 2 also, on core switch 2 also. So run interface VLAN 10. So you can see here also we have one access control list. If I will open this access list, so access list, so you can see again we are permitting DNS traffic, TCP traffic, TCP port number 80 and 443, and ICMP traffic, right? So actually we configured this access control list on this switch for the limited use of limited access of internet to VLAN 10 user, right? So that VLAN 10 user should be able to access only these services. But guys, as you know, in access control list implicit deny is hidden, right? So what is happening over here, when switch 2 is sending hello message of HSRP, right? And as you know, HSRP is a UDP based protocol and it uses port number 1985. So 1985 port number is not allowed here, right? So it will drop the HSRP hello message. Switch 1 is going to drop the HSRP hello message. See, whenever you are configuring filtering, right, access control list or prefixes, let's say I have two router R1, R2. Here I'm going to configure, let's say, ACL, right? And we are running a routing protocol OSPF, right? So make sure when you are configuring ACL, right, you will allow all traffic of OSPF. Otherwise, OSPF never will goes down, right? So here, in the same way, we are limiting VLAN 10 user, right? We are, configuring access control list. We had configured access control list on these switches so that VLAN 10 user can access limited internet. But because of that access control list, we have blocked HSRP hello message also. Because of that, these switches are not able to exchange HSRP hello messages, and because of that, these both switches are saying I am active, I am active. If both switches active, then over here on access layer switches, guys, MAC flapping will occur, right? Because soon this switch will learn MAC address of VLAN, of 10.1.1.3. This is virtual IP address for VLAN 10. So this switch will learn MAC address of 10.1.1.3 on this interface also and on this interface also. This switch will also learn on this interface also, on this interface also. So this is problem, right? One switch should be active and one switch should be standby. So here what I can do, on this switch I am going to make one more entry in access control list, say IP access list extended, and name of access list, let me copy this one, and here I am going to say permit UDP any equal to 1985. This is port number of HSRP. We'll do same thing on switch number 2 also. Now you can see this switch can receive hello message of switch 2. So now if I will check, so standby brief. So now you can see for VLAN 10 still standby is unknown, still standby is unknown. But now this switch can receive hello message of HSRP from switch number 2. Just wait for some time. I think here now standby router should be known. So access list, so we have this entry now. Okay, still still this for switch number 1 standby is unknown, and on switch number 2 so standby brief unknown, right? So what is happening here? Debug HSRP, debug IP, here I can debug HSRP protocol to check that this router is receiving hello message or not. Okay, leave, I don't have, I think, here option, but so standby, so standby brief, standby router should be known now, right? Because now switch can receive hello message, right? Okay, first of all let me allow HSRP hello message on core switch 2 also. For that what I will do, so IP access list extended, and name of access list is this one, copy, and here I am going to say permit UDP any port number 1985, permit UDP any port number 1985. Now so standby, now you can see, so standby brief, now you can see this switch is still, it's saying this switch is active. Now you can see the log message, now this switch is standby, now this switch is standby, standby is local switch, and active is 10.1.1.1, means switch number 1 is active, switch number 1 is active. Now here you can see switch 1 is active, 10.1.2 is standby, and active is local switch, active is local switch. But you know, when if only switch 1 is not able to receive hello message from switch number 2, if switch 1 is not able to receive hello message from switch number 2, or if I will remove this command, if I will again remove this entry from access list, say this to no, now what will happen? So standby brief, now here you can see after 15 second, right, after 15 second you will see this router will become active, you can see again, and standby is unknown. That means standby is unknown means this switch is not able to receive hello message of HSRP, but on switch number 1 still you can see standby is unknown. Guys, here standby should be, you know, the IP address of switch 2, because switch 1 is still receiving hello message, right? So sometime you will see in real time, sometime you will see on one switch active switch will be your local switch, standby switch will be, you know, here you will get IP here you will have IP address like 10.1.1.2, and on switch number 2 standby will be unknown, both switch will be active, but on one switch there will be information of standby. Okay, so that will be your, that can be your scenario in real time also, right? So in today scenario, in today troubleshooting, what we achieved, first we troubleshoot VLAN was missing, VLAN 20 was missing on switch number 2, VLAN 20 was not there in the VLAN database of switch 2, and next next problem was because of access control list both switches was filtering hello message of HSRP. So we have, you know, permitted HSRP hello messages on both switches, and now we are able to see switch 1 is active for VLAN 10 and switch 2 is active for VLAN 20, right? For VLAN 10 this switch, local switch is active, standby is unknown. Again I can remove this, I have to allow HSRP, say this, and then I'm going to remove no command here again. So standby brief. Now you can see, wait for some time. Now you can see local standby is local switch, active switch is 10.1.1.1. For VLAN 20, active is local switch and standby is 20.1.1.1. Okay guys, so this was a small troubleshooting of HSRP protocol, right? In real time, sometime we face these type of issue. That's why I have make this video. Now guys, if you have learned something from this video, please hit on like button. If you have not subscribed the channel, please subscribe the channel. We will meet soon in next video. Till then, stay safe. Bye bye. That's all for today.